Yo guys, what's up? It's Yellow Alpaca here, and I'm gonna read Glen. So I found this thing on Twitter. I was really bored. I figured stupider things than this have gone viral, so I might as well try it. So I have to read the word. I forgot how to talk already. I have to read the word Glen 20 times in a row, and I should slowly begin to realize that it's a really weird name. So let's begin. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 let Glen, Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. Glen, 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 Glen. I think I just won. I don't know how badly I butchered that name. Like, I felt like I was saying it really bad, but I don't know if I was actually pronouncing it as horribly as it sounded myself. I can say that it definitely sounds like a very strange name after like the around the 30th time it started sounding so strange to me to say it that they are right. Glenn is an extremely weird name. I don't think I've ever met anybody that actually has that name though. Like the only person I think I've ever met with the name Glenn, not even met, the only person I think when I think of the name Glenn, I think of that dude from The Walking Dead. And I'm not even like a huge Walking Dead fan. That's just the only like not that I'm not a Walking Dead fan, but I'm not like a die-hard Walking Dead fan. That's just the only thing I can think, like the only person I think of when I think of Glenn. I don't think I've ever met anybody with that name, and I'm starting I definitely slowly am beginning to realize that it is a strange name. It is a very weird name. So, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me say Glenn approximately 200 times, and you should try it. It was a quite interesting experience.